All right, so basically, I was telling someone the other day that one of the biggest mistakes that I've made as a coach and as an athlete, because I usually do these things myself in terms of speed training or speed development, would be basically the thought that more force production equals more speed. So I think that we've been really led down a wrong path in terms of always thinking stronger is faster, when in reality it's not. Now, can strength help an uncoordinated, untrained individual run faster? Yes, that's going to happen. But in the trained individuals and people who are, coordinated, it can actually hurt them. And here's why. And I learned this going back a little bit here. I started working with Darian Barr from Barr Running maybe like 3 years ago. So a lot of this I've learned from him and his basically what he teaches. And he looks at things through a little bit of a different lens in terms of he looks at movement and running from a lever standpoint as opposed to a muscular standpoint, and how to use your levers properly to get yourself to be able to run faster. So if you're looking at the fastest people in the world and the people who are very fast, yes, a lot of them are muscular, they have good Achilles tendons, they have elasticity, all these things, they're just naturally fast. But what really makes them faster is the way they use their levers. So using the foot versus the ankle, the shins, all these things, the hips, and how the levers are working properly. If you're only thinking strength, basically you're trying to stomp the ground to put more force into the ground, but where is that getting you? Okay, so the shin has to fall, and the shin has to fall faster. So basically, what I've learned and what I've taken away from all this is that if you're stronger, basically the strength you need is the strength to hold you up with it, so you don't fall on your face. Because basically what running is a series of falls, right? The shin drops, you fall, you fall, you fall. And if you watch little kids learn to run, basically they're walking along and they just start walking faster and falling faster and faster until they're actually running. I mean, that's human adults are no different. So the first thing is, I don't know if you can even see, but let me put you over here. If I'm only thinking force production and I'm putting force into the ground, it's getting me to come up, right? Standing me up. And even people that are into this, they always say, well, you got to project your hips forward. How are you projecting your hips forward if you're stomping down? Then they'll say, put force behind you. And I did this with all my athletes. We did tons of sleds and all that type of stuff, trying to put force behind you. But when you run, you never step behind you. You can't. If you step behind you, you're going to fall. And you can't put force down if you're putting it behind you. It's the same as like the wall drills, right? So here, if I put force, you're trying to stomp the ground behind you, but in reality, you're moving forward, you're going to miss the ground, right? So whenever we run, we're actually landing in front of our center of our mass, slightly, right? We're never landing, our foot's never coming behind ourselves. We would just fall down on our face at that point. And how could you put force down, like there's no way to put force down. If you're tall and you try to put the force behind you, you can't. There's nothing to push off of. So it has to land underneath you, actually slightly in front of you, basically perpendicular. Your shin's perpendicular when you land. Now, if I stomp the ground there, what happens? It's pushing me up. I totally lose forward momentum. Right, so we need to learn how to use our levers to be able to touch the ground and rotate about it, right, which is a fall. And that's the biggest difference. That's basically what I've learned And there's a lot of nuances that go into it, but it took me a couple of years to really learn that you are not going to run faster just by hitting the ground harder.